Hey guys, welcome to another real interesting week of astrology. This one is probably another week that is likely to be quite unusual, things happening out of the ordinary. There could also be this internalized sense or need or urge to break away from something, to break free from something, and it also could be coming from some type of like internalized irritation, inner conflict, anger, or passion that is like arising within us and that is really propelling us forward to do something, to take some type of action, to change something in some way. As we start our week this week, you guys, we have Uranus, the planet ruling shocks and surprises, expect the unexpected, but also the Great Awakener, bringing blessings in disguise, the galactic fixer as well, very, very strongly activated in the energetic field, stationing to go retrograde. This is also the 7th planet that we currently have retrograde. We are officially entering our retrograde season as of this week as well. But while Uranus stations, which puts a very strong energetic influence on the Uranian energy, we also have a 0-degree Aquarius moon that is forming a trine to Mars at 0 degrees of Libra. There is a force propelling change right now, you guys, and it's coming through what we're talking about, what we're discussing, the information that we have access to, the context, what we're learning, and in the context as well of all this retrograde energy. Things from the past are being reworked, resorted. This is a great revealing that we are moving towards, and simultaneously it is functioning as a great awakening. And after we come out of this retrograde period, things are not going to be the same. This is very life-changing stuff that we have going on right now, and we're likely to really start to notice it, okay, in terms of what is playing out around us and in our lives and on the world stage. So all that being said, you guys, we have a lot to talk about this week. Let's get into our Monday report. Let's look at how things are coming together for us to start the day, or to start our week this week. And like I said, we've got a lot going on Monday, lots of Uranus energy, and you know, how things may be unfolding as we move through the energy this week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Monday, August 28th, 2023. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. On this channel, we are looking at the astrology as it comes together on a day-to-day basis, you know, trying to get an idea of what these aspects and transits might be bringing us in our experience. However, we are also always keeping in mind the fact that we are currently in a shift and transition of ages, and we are taking into consideration the impact of these more, you know, minute daily, weekly, monthly transits in terms of how they are affecting this overall transitional process that is moving us forward into this new age. So that's what we're doing on this channel, you guys, and we are looking at the energy, of course, for this week, Monday, August 28th. And also, I should say, if you guys want to stick with me until the end of the video, I have also done a collective tarot reading for us as well. I like to tap the energy field from more than one modality whenever I'm doing these daily reports, because I just like to get a more well-rounded overview of what's playing out for us on an energetic level. So there may be some messages in there for you at the end if you want to follow me to the end of the video for that as well. But let's get right started in terms of the energy as it's coming through this week. This is a huge week, you guys. I've been talking about, you know, since our new moon, we need to remember, as we are digging into the energy that's coming together for this week, we need to remember that we are in a new moon in Leo cycle right now, which happened in an exact square to Uranus. So we knew from the very beginning of the current lunar cycle that we are in right now, that these were going to be times that were very, very much colored by the planet Uranus and all that he brings and signifies. Uranus, first of all, is an energy that has to do with the future. It has to do with potential. It has to do with authenticity, and it has to do with the organic development of potential in alignment with a greater universal plan. Uranus has a lot to do with energy that is pulling us forward in the direction of like destiny and the future and the development of organic and authentic potential. And as a result of that, another thing that Uranus has a tendency to do is to make changes and fix things that have been blocking or have gotten us out of alignment with that path to the development of true potential, if you get what I'm saying. And so, you know, a lot of times Uranus has the reputation for bringing like chaos and being sort of like a wrecking ball, and it's this energy of the lightning hitting the tower, and of course it brings, you know, shocks, and it can bring accidents and like calamities and just like a general sense of uncertainty and things just feeling unstable and out of control. But it does that when there is a change that needs to be made, or there is a blockage to the unfoldment of that authentic organic potential that we are just unaware of, or that we are unable to see, or that we are unable to do for ourselves. Universe will use Uranus and the energy associated with that as a medium for like putting things back on track how they need to be, pretty much like at any cost, or despite the amount of discomfort that may be associated with the fix or the solution that needs to take place in order so that things can grow properly again. Making the changes for us that we haven't been able to make for ourselves, shocks, surprises, and there's a huge informational component to whatever is hitting us out of the blue, or just blowing our mind, or like lighting up our world or whatever, as this energy hits, because of the Mercury influence as well. Mercury also just stationed retrograde in a trine to Uranus. This is information that is fracturing the foundations of our reality, okay? We'll put it that way. This is really life-changing stuff. I'm telling you guys, as we get through this retrograde season, the changes that are going on inside of us, the changes that are playing out on the world stage, the corrections, what is revealed to us, the revelations that we come to, these are going to be life-changing, and things, especially the way that we are seeing and perceiving reality, our mental frameworks, okay, are not going to go back to how they were previous to whatever is exposed to us during this particular retrograde season. And I will say, as we start this retrograde, as I mentioned in my intro, Uranus stationing retrograde, we also have a moon that is really amplifying the energy of this Uranus station even more. And whenever a planet stations in the sky, whether it be stationing direct or stationing retrograde, when a planet is stopped in the sky, it really enhances and amplifies the energy of that planet, as it's just sort of like vibrating there, not moving in any direction, but preparing to, just very dominant in its energetic fields when we have planets stationary. And so being in a new moon cycle that was square Uranus, and now starting this week, having Uranus stationed, and not only that, having an Aquarius moon ruled by Uranus, not only an Aquarius moon, a 0-degree Aquarius moon forming an exact trine to Mars at 0 degrees of Libra. Aquarius and Libra, these are also both air signs. While we just had Mercury station retrograde in a trine to Uranus, again, this is also like ideas and information. Air signs, this is ideas and communication and information. Mind-blowing stuff, you guys. Uranus is also the planet that rules awakening, flashes of insight, epiphanies. When Uranus is operating, our sixth senses are really sort of like lit up. Our vagus nervous system that operates sort of as an unconscious antenna, picking up on electromagnetic and energetic fields of pretty much everything around us, whether or not we're even aware that this is happening. We have a tendency of having a much more conscious connection to the receptivity and sensitivity of that receiver. When we have Uranus amplified as well, our neurons and the way that our mind is working can be more electrified, okay? And there can definitely also be sort of like a sense of nervous tension in the air, feeling like having a difficult time staying grounded, the sense of like excitement or exhilaration. Uranus energy also causes us to spontaneously like want to break free from things as well, especially anything that is like overly mundane, or that we feel like is oppressive or burdensome or too heavy or not fair or suffocating in any way. And with the sun also in a opposition to Saturn right now, you know, starting this week, this is no longer exact. We had it on Saturday over the weekend, but this is, you know, it's a separating conjunction with, or I mean opposition with the sun and Saturn right now, but it is still a tight orb as we are starting the week this week. There is likely to be a lot of that sort of like oppressive duty, responsibility, obligations, weight of the world, like weighing us down, that we feel sort of like just throwing caution to the wind, okay, and like asserting ourselves towards some type of active change. Definitely the vibes, definitely what we're dealing with energetically, especially on Monday to start our week. Now, with the trine to Mars that is coming in simultaneously, and all this Uranus energy, and the opposition between the sun and Saturn, and actually before the moon hits that 0 degree of Aquarius and forms the trine to Mars, it will also be in a conjunction to Saturn, or Pluto retrograde at the very end of the sign of Capricorn. There could be, like I said, these feelings of like being like issues with authority, or things coming to a head, or like building tensions or power struggles, or just these oppressive forces like bearing down on us, feeling like, nope, not doing it anymore. I need to break free. I need to shake myself free, and I need to create some type of dynamic change, active change, in order to make that happen. There could definitely also, I would say, be some anger, some hostility, some pent-up aggression or passion that is fueling some of the sudden or dynamic urges to make change that could be coming through in the energy on Monday to start our week as well. As I said, tensions are probably already quite high because of the Sun-Saturn opposition, and, you know, perhaps also the moon having been in the conjunction with Pluto. People could definitely be taking sudden, unexpected actions to throw some chains off, you guys, in some type of a way, and again, generate change, to feel free, to feel uninhibited, to feel like we can breathe again, okay, in one way or another. Energy is also likely to be running very, very high with the moon in trine to Mars and all of this Uranus energy going on to start our week this week especially. And there could be this sense of like hyperstimulation or electric charge in the air that is like beckoning us to do something, to make something happen, to, again, like generate some type of change, to break up some type of stagnation or monotony, just like out of nowhere, impulsiveness, spontaneity coming through, this like internal irritation that is like acting as a catalyst or like driving us to want to do this. Again, that is the total vibe we have going on right now. This is an energy that is seeking novelty, innovation, and again, it's Uranus, so it's wanting to awaken us to the truth of like our real authentic potential and the freedom to experience that. People are probably going to be acting very weird this week, different, out of the ordinary, craving, again, something new, something fresh, something exciting, something stimulating, something exhilarating, something that makes us feel alive again. And with the Mars dynamic of things, people are probably honestly a bit willing to fight to have that, or to go to war with anyone that would stand in the way of that, that would block that, that would deny that opportunity. It's probably not going to be pretty. There is a very fiery masculine energy that is primed with like courage and motivation and passion to take back what is ours and to fight for what's right, coming through with this Uranus energy as well, which we'll talk about as we get through this report. And I really don't think, with both the South Node and Mars now transiting the sign of Libra, people are going to be backing down from a fight, or people are going to be considering the peace that may be disrupted, okay, through whatever actions need to be taken to generate this change. We are just in a season of change. Universe is compelling it. Universe is using Uranus as the medium for generating this change, and things are going to be all over the place. And if we are resisting, you guys, the changes that we know we need to make right now, or the changes that universe is literally making for us, this is probably not going to work out in our best interest either. There are some things that we need to watch out for, and I will say this, okay? We can't really tell. All right, we're going into, we're in retrograde season right now as well. We're having 7 planets retrograde. You know, one of them is Mercury, one of them is Venus, you know, Neptune is retrograde. And we've had Neptune oppositions going on lately. Things are not clear, okay? Things are not as they seem. There are facts being projected as fantasy, and there are fantasies being projected as facts. And we don't want to hastily, rashly, impulsively react to something that turns out to be not what we thought it was, and actually like shoot ourselves in the foot somehow moving through this energy. It's very important, I feel, that even though we have Mars and we have Jupiter as our only two planets besides the sun and the moon who are still direct in the sky right now, we allow ourselves to have some delayed reactions to things, okay? Even though there is this huge energy that is igniting change, this motivating change, and this is the season and this is the time for active and dynamic change, we don't want to allow necessarily that active and dynamic change to be like falsely motivated by something that appears as it is not, that gets us sort of like all whipped up and causes us to take some type of reckless action. Again, like I said, that can maybe like not be in our benefit as we move forward, especially in the context of like emotionally heated issues, okay? With all these retrograde planets, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Chiron, everything retrograde, as I said, besides the sun and the moon and Mars and Jupiter. This is, with Mars and Jupiter still direct, you guys, like this is a desire to make big moves, to act on whatever is coming to us in order to actively initiate this change in big, expanded, like exponential ways, right? With the Jupiterian influence. But the problem with all of this is all of this retrograde energy playing out simultaneously, and also, especially with the emphasis right now on the Virgo Pisces polarity as well, we can't be sure of essentially like what is real and what is not, what is fact and what is fantasy in this energy. There's no staying power with anything, okay? Anything that we initiate, any big actions that we take right now as this energy unfolds, there's going to need to be revisions. There's gonna need to be adjustments. Like they're not going to move forward as they are anticipated or planned or projected in the energy now if we are going ahead and implementing, acting on whatever we want to act on, especially if it is coming from some type of a heated emotional response to something, okay? This retrograde season, as I've said, because of the way that things have come together, because of the planetary alignments that have been in place when planets have stationed retrograde, because of where we're at, right, in our greater transition of ages right now, it is going to function as some type of great revealing. This period of time will expose some paradigm shifting and shattering information and context about things that will make a lot of people wake up. Uranus stationing retrograde at this point in time in this new moon cycle with the huge dominant influence of the Uranian energy right now. Like this is the Great Awakening, okay? People talk about the Great Awakening. People talk about the Great Awakening for years, you know, the pending Great Awakening. We are really, really in it. And now moving through 24, like this is the Great Awakening, okay? Uranus retrograde as well. This is an internalized awakening to the truth of our potential, of what we really value, of what we really love. And we are at a point where we are no longer willing to surrender any of our power to anything that is essentially like stealing from our personal truth or blocking our ability to grow essentially right now in alignment with that true, authentic, organic potential that the Uranus Aquarius energy represents, okay? So this retrograde season is going to be shattering a lot of previous mental frameworks and foundations of reality, okay? Waking people up in a lot of ways to the truths of some things that, you know, maybe we had never been aware of. A lot of people are going to come to realize that everything that they believe to be true may have actually been a lie, and everything, you know, that they thought was a fantasy or an illusion may actually have a level of truth to it. This is going to be a time of some major cognitive dissonance. Also, you know, mental issues people are going to be dealing with as they try to wrap their mind around, you know, what we're coming to find and what is being exposed to us right now. But again, this is lasting change, okay? We're not going to be seeing things the same way moving forward. But again, as we move into this energy, as this energy initially hits, and this Uranus energy is so strong, we do not want to allow ourselves to get too worked up or to be too impulsive or to be too reckless about anything that is stirring up this anger within us, or that is really like igniting this passion within us to activate or to, you know, act on generating some of this change somehow. We are likely to make maybe like some hot-headed missteps, okay, or mistakes in our actions that could work against us in the future if that is the path that we choose as this energy is unfolding. So if we can respond to things in a way that is kind of reminiscent of sort of like the fog of war type of energy, because that really is kind of another vibe that we are in right now. Again, like Virgo and Pisces, fact and fantasy, projection and images, but also illusions breaking down. Not really being sure if what we're seeing manifest in front of us is what is actually going to turn out to be the truth, okay? And missing perhaps a layer of like details or facts or backstories while this retrograde energy works to reveal them to us. Observation, okay? Data collection, pattern recognition, and strategy, as opposed to just being a bull in a china shop and, you know, acting out of like a feeling, a heated feeling that comes to us. This is what's going to work in our benefit moving forward. Again, like Jupiter and Mars, the only two planets that are direct right now, there is likely to be a big push to take some type of significant action to make some type of change or make something happen. But we don't want to get carried away. We don't want our passions or our anger to get the best of us, because again, Mars and Libra being this air sign, you know, hot-headed mistakes, okay, or missteps that again can like shoot us in the foot going forward. So we want to slow down. We don't want to impulsively react. We want to make sure that we are planning, strategizing, and that we know what we're dealing with before we just sort of like launch an attack that could again like work against us somehow. Having meltdowns or explosions over things that may or may not honestly even be real in this energy, okay? So with Uranus being the primary influence to start our week this week, you guys, like I said, probably an unusual, surprising, maybe exciting week, probably different week, could be very fast-paced stuff going on as well. Everybody is likely to be craving something new, different, and again, ready to create change. Just make sure you know what you're doing first. And I will say again, you know, I've been mentioning this, the degree in the sky where Uranus has stationed retrograde, or is stationing retrograde today at 24 degrees of Taurus. That Sabian symbol is an Indian warrior riding fiercely, human scalps hanging at his belt. So considering, you know, this is happening as a part of our Leo fixed fire new moon that was in a square to Uranus, and we have the moon in Aquarius 0 degrees forming the trine to Mars 0 degrees of Libra today, the manifestation of this Uranus energy again is likely to be along the lines of forceful but unapologetic, both like shows of strength and also the reclaiming of personal power. So we've got that going on probably on some level as well, that is likely to be demonstrated in the context of whatever upheavals or shocks or expect the unexpected stuff is playing out with this Uranus energy. But we also today, for Uranus's station, have the position of the sun at 6 degrees of Virgo. That Sabian symbol is a merry-go-round. Okay, so in the context of this Uranus energy and all of this retrograde energy and all this change that is being indicated right now, we're getting off the merry-go-round, you guys. It's time to exit the ride, okay? The show is over, and honestly, like, we're getting into the thick of things right now. Like, this is going to probably be quite a revolutionary time. We're kind of in like the second American Revolution, and it's just times of some epic change coming through right now. Probably another crazy day, probably another crazy week in the season of epic change that is being brought to us by the planet Uranus, and also our transition into the age of Aquarius, which once again, you know, these transits, these aspects, these indications of how energy is playing out and coming into effect right now are very significant in our greater overall transition into the age of Aquarius as we adjust and respond to these energetic impulses and the changes that they're making in our lives, the changes they're making into our energy bodies, and, you know, what we want, what we desire, and how we are essentially interacting with our own reality as a result of that and moving forward. So that's really what I have to say today, you guys, about this astrology that is coming through this week. It's really hard to call, honestly. Like, anything could happen, literally anything could happen. But, you know, this is the type of, these are the times when it's like act 3 of the play comes through, you know what I mean? Like, when we're in like the most dire of circumstances and it looks like all is lost, but all of a sudden the most unexpected and miraculous save the day scenario comes in to take place. Like, that's the energy that we are in right now. Divine intervention, miracles, but also things happening that seem like absolute disasters, which in retrospect we will come to find actually were super important in helping some very positive changes take place. So being adaptable, okay, being able to go with the flow of things, being very open also to endless possibilities and opportunities. The position of the North Node right now, I feel like, is very telling, okay, in terms of what this energy is actually trying to do for us. And the North Node right now is at 27 degrees of the sign of Aries. That Sabian symbol is through imagination, lost opportunities are regained. So we are actually, things are being put right, and we are being set up on a path to, you know, regain some things that may have been lost to us, or some opportunities that we may have felt were gone forever. But it's as a result of us going through this process of internalized awakening and having these aha moments, and essentially like getting back in alignment with the truth of ourselves and recalibrating our own frequency, and as a result of that, attracting and magnetizing to us these opportunities, these new potentials, this era of change that will take us to places that we maybe had never thought possible for ourselves moving forward. So we're there, you guys, and it's just probably going to be a bit of a wild week. Again, like, and even on the most mundane levels, this is just being at different places than we usually are at certain times, like our schedule just not being normal this week, and, you know, having very interesting or unique or unusual conversations, and, you know, perhaps looking at things a bit differently as we move through the energy this week. So that's what I'm going to say today, you guys, in terms of the astrology as it's coming together. Again, just like these epic times of change that we are in. And even according to the tarot cards, we got a very brief, concise, and to the point message today, but it's very clear, you guys. Look at how these cards are coming out. Look at this. The Eight of Pentacles in reverse. The Eight of Pentacles, this is a card about being hard at work at something. Something's not working. Whatever has not been working, it's the end of that, okay? Whatever has not been working for us, wherever we've been working against ourselves, wherever we have been sabotaging ourselves, or wherever our efforts have not been paying off for some way or some reason, we've come to the end of using our energy in a way that is not benefiting us, or that is not creating a proper harmony or balance in our lives, or that is not being equally reciprocated. The card that we had coming out after that is the Six of Pentacles. This is taking things that are not working, that have not been balanced in terms of the give and take, bringing that to a final conclusion and replacing it with that which is of equal reciprocity, okay? It's taking what wasn't working, what we had been putting our energy into that had not been growing or developing properly, and turning it into something that is equal to the amount of output that is going into it. We also had then the King of Cups coming out with the Three of Cups in reverse, followed by the Two of Cups in reverse on the back of the deck. This is also about telling us like that we are coming to a point where we are going to be feeling much more emotionally empowered to pull ourselves out of relationships and connections that have been sabotaging us, or our efforts or our endeavors to build something, to grow something, to work towards something in one way or another. So whether, you know, it's legitimately like something that has been blocking our progress, or that we've been doing wrong that has not been generating the results that we want, or whether it is relationship dynamics that we have been in that have been blinding us to the truth of our own power, or keeping us detached from our own sense of emotional self-empowerment, personal power, or also ability to regulate our own emotions and to feel sort of like secure in our own emotional like body and desires, and our ability to sort of be in power of our own emotional reactions to things. Okay, so essentially anything that has been like pulling us out of our ability to control our emotions, and as a result of that sabotaging our progress as well, whether it's been happening on an emotion or a relationship based level via our emotions, or whether it's been happening on like a physical level via, you know, what we've actually been doing to generate or to create or work towards something, whatever is not working for us along those lines, this to me is talking about that coming to the end, and what is coming to replace it is a proper flow of energy that is allowing what we receive to be that which matches, or which is reciprocal to what we're putting out. Okay, so balance is working to be restored along the lines of anything that has been sabotaging our ability to move towards this Uranus energy, activating our potential, working towards our destiny, and putting work and effort into actually making ourselves better and gaining a greater sense of self-mastery in one way or another. Anywhere we've been confusing ourselves is also based on the relationships in our lives, or our relationships with other people have been keeping us in a state of confusion about our own true potential. Those are also things that are coming to an end right now. So that's the tarot message, I feel, as it's coming together today. Let's grab a synchronicity card now. Let's get one more word of guidance, advice, God, Spirit, Universe. What should we keep in mind as we start to move through the energy this week, this strong Uranus energy? What do we need to know? What will benefit us to sort of use as our mantra? Of course, this would be the card. It says trust, which we know that we have Uranus operating. That is the galactic fixer, and that is the hand of God. That is Uranus operating through whatever is acting as a force of change in our lives right now, if we haven't been able to do that for ourselves. So there is a plan, a cosmic blueprint underway, you guys, and we need to trust the process. Trust also in Him, Psalm 37:5. Trust in God to lead you to the person you need to fulfill your needs. Make certain you are the type of person that person would wish to associate with. Make certain you have defined your needs and desires before you make your request. Remember, all things are possible through God. Again, like I was saying earlier, nothing is impossible right now. We need to be open to miracles. We need to be open to divine intervention. We need to trust that the changes that are happening now are happening to align us with that which is actually going to be so much better for us going forward, and probably honestly in a way that we can't even imagine or we can't even fathom. So we don't want to attach to fears, insecurities, doubts, pessimism, any like negative feelings that may be arising, especially in the context of, you know, this oppressive energy with the Sun-Saturn opposition, and the fears also of, you know, overbearing authorities and stuff like that. When we have a Sun-Saturn opposition going on, that's not really happening, you guys. Things are not necessarily as they appear. We don't want to attach to appearances in this energy. And what is really happening is the sleeping giant within the revolutionary spirit within the collective of humanity is awakening. And these activations that are coming through right now are priming that collective force to activate some type of dynamic change, okay? And we're moving in that direction, but we just need to trust the process. Things are working for us, and everything is going to be okay. And it's going to not only be okay, it's going to be better than we could have ever expected or anticipated. So that's the story that we're sticking to this week, you guys, in the midst of this time of dynamic change. That's what I have to say today, you guys. Message from the stars, message from the cards. I hope you guys liked it. If you did like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think they would like this type of content, be into this type of astrology as well. Leave me comments, you guys. I love your comments. I am so grateful for all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Your feedback really means a lot to me. I appreciate knowing how these transits and activations are affecting you guys. If you're having experiences that line up with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. I would definitely appreciate that. Also, if you want to know what it says on this whiteboard in like the fullness of it, I take a picture and I post it in my Facebook group, which is linked in my description box below, along with a Facebook page I have and also an Instagram account. So that's where you'll find that, and come back with me on Wednesday, you guys. We are shutting down this month of August. We are getting real close to start our month of September, which is going to be another big one. So we will have more astrology to talk about, and I will be here to talk about it. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you then, guys. Have a beautiful Uranus flavored day, and until next time, bye, guys.